Hey guys, it's those guys with your host Matt Marrero along with the other host
Tristan Walter.
Yes, we are in the same room. This does not happen that often. We've only done this for a few different podcasts actually. Literally we can count them on our hands. It was like the first Ring, Jurassic World 2.
Right.
Yeah. So wasn't that it? Was that? Oh God, this is beautiful. We're rolling. We're rolling. Do we actually have to cut or no?
No, it's
oh, perfect. Just move the phone off of there so it doesn't vibrate on the. That's so funny. Oh God, actually, we might have to cut. Oh wait, no. I'll fix it in post. I'll fix it. No, because the audio levels are over 9,000, so I might need to move this mic back just a little bit because we've never recorded at Tristan's house before. So it's just so interesting that we're here. We're in your home study. You record Kikaku Corner in here all the time.
Yes.
And it's a lovely place. It's a lovely place. Armed guards everywhere.
Oh, well...
Yeah, and the dogs?
Well, that's the funny thing. Yeah. I am the armed guardsman. It's all me.
That and the dogs? The killer... All right, so speaking of anime, we're here talking about Your Name. Which every time now I want to call it Your Name Is, but it's like no, it's just Your Name or Kimi no Na wa. This was a movie that everyone and their mom told me I had to see. No, literally, because this movie, it did very well at the box office, and what's interesting about it is it did well everywhere at the box office. It wasn't just like a US or a Japanese thing. It wasn't one of those, it was more popular in the US than Japan or vice versa. No, it beat out Miyazaki movies in the Japanese box office. It comes over here, and I'm pretty sure it also beat out some Miyazaki movies as well, or it still did very well.
Yeah.
It did very well in China, too. So this is a story that, even though there are some elements that I do think may not have translated well to some American viewers, at the same time, it is a story that I do think transcends culture.
Yeah,
and I think that's a really...
was talking about that too.
What?
Like,
oh right, because you have the a friend of ours lent you the Blu-ray.
Yeah, so there were like extras, and Funimation did an interview with them, and he was talking about, they were saying, "Oh, do you think it'll translate well to like a Western audience?" And he's like, "Well, the fundamental of the plot points of the story should go across cultural borders easily enough."
Yes.
There were a few like jokes in there. There was one joke where it was talking about the
pronouns.
Yeah, that he's like, it's because it's Japanese language, so Westerners might not get it, but
what's interesting is, even though this is the one time where we looked at the sub over the dub, I'm pretty sure the dub would have done something where he would have said instead, something that is very much like he could have said like OMG, and it's like, OMG?
Yeah.
Like something that because I don't know, or maybe he said something that just sounded odd to his high school, male friends.
Right.
Yeah, in that regard, it's something that, it's a joke that doesn't really translate well because we don't have stuff exactly like that one-to-one, because we, in the US with the English language, we don't really have like, this is a feminine eye versus a male eye versus that's so strange. The only thing is we have pronouns like he, she, they, but they don't translate to, maybe that's the joke that they made perhaps in the US version, but even then that wouldn't have worked in that exact context, like somehow calling himself a she, and they were like, that's new. But no, although it's funny that one friend, the one that he hangs out with a bit more with the glasses, like when they go to he said like, oh, he's a bit more cute today, and then like the other one was like, what? And I was like, all right then, that's cool. No, yeah, it was a very interesting film. I think that I completely understand why it was as popular as it was. I think that it did live up to that expectation, which is very hard to do that with me, because I've told you about this. I've told longtime fans about this. I hate when people overly recommend something to me, because usually that expectation is not met, even if the movie's amazing.
Right.
And I think that this is one of those movies where the expectation was met, though.
Yeah, because even the friend who lent me the DVD, he's not really into romantic comedies all that much, so granted, this is not exactly a romantic comedy, but along those lines.
In that genre, somewhat.
It is a really great film that he was like, no, dude, you have to watch this.
The friend we're talking about, never been on the show, but definitely likes a plethora of stuff, but
Oh, yeah.
definitely could lean more towards the more like adult, sometimes gory, not all the time, but like no, he watched it like Berserk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He didn't like the animation in Berserk, but he likes Berserk.
Yeah, no, he
Doesn't he
loves-
have? Yeah, he has the manga,
He has the
right?
manga, yeah.
Yeah. So, but what I'm getting at though is that to get him on board to be like, because he bought the movie.
Right,
That's the
yeah.
thing too. It's not like this is like rented from a library. Like he bought the movie. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Also, it was released by Funimation, right?
Yes.
Okay, Funimation. They had like a Blu-ray combo pack. That's what you said.
Yeah, it's a DVD Blu-ray
God, it looked
combo.
beautiful. Cause
Oh, yeah.
because we saw it on your PS4.
Yes.
Which Tristan's finally caught up with the world.
It only took me how many years?
Well, let's see. PS4 has been out for like 8, so it took you 7. It took you like 7, right? Something like that. I think it's been more than 8, but still.
Wow, it's been 5 years already.
Yeah. Basically. No, I think my only issue with the film, and this is such a huge thing that I think it can't be ignored. And sorry, it just can't be ignored. The fact that they were looking at each other's phones. Well, because the thing is, the reason I say, like, I'm sorry that it can't be ignored, sometimes I bring up things that I even acknowledge are nitpicks and that they're bullshit. I acknowledge it. This one is not. So they're looking at each other's phones to leave messages, and I think that's a beautiful thing because you kind of have to let the other person know how you fucked up their life that day.
Because you've switched into their body through their dreams.
That totally happens all the time, you know. And so...
Yeah, that hasn't happened to you before?
No, definitely a few times. So, when it might be happening right now. And
Nani?
so, nani the fuck? But the thing is that my problem is this. The fact that while I'm not saying that the big reveal of like 3 years should have happened to us in the beginning,
Right.
it was a shock to the characters as well. So,
Yeah.
I can't...
Taki and...
Taki, thank you.
Mitsuha.
Yeah, Mitsuha, thank you. You know what it is? They said Mitsuha's name so many times, either with her relatives or with Taki.
Yeah.
Barely anyone has said Taki's name out loud, actually.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
at least in comparison. So yeah, so with Taki, for him to be like, whoa, it was 3 years ago, it's like, are there not calendars on your phone? Like, maybe the setup is different in Japan or like the phones that they were using, but when I turn on my phone,
Yeah.
my Android,
Right.
and I want to say what company, it's like, you're being sponsored by, it's like, no, look at our numbers, I can assure you. But when I turn on the Android phone, and you have a similar model as well, so maybe it's just us, you see the date immediately.
We're doing this.
Now, granted, you actually don't see the year, to be fair. I'll be fair, you don't see the year. But I feel like if you're going into your calendar to set the dates, like she set the date for Taki.
Mm.
And also he's setting dates for hers, or like not setting up dates, but like actually like putting stuff into notes and shit like that. You'd think that at one point you'd click on the calendar. Because here's the thing, if it only happened like, if they only transferred bodies like 2 times, I wouldn't say shit.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be sitting there thinking, what year is it? And because I'd probably be thinking it's a dream. But they transferred bodies enough times from the sounds of it. Like, didn't they take, like, if you counted the days, wouldn't it be, like, a little over a month? If you counted each day as, like, if you count, it wasn't linear, of course.
Yeah.
But if you put them on a linear, it didn't happen, like, 30 times?
No, I think it was only a handful, but it was like...
But it had to be more than, like,
It was
4
like
or 5.
every other week I thought that it happened, that
Right,
they switched.
right, but that's more than like I don't mean to be a dick because now I sound like I'm nitpicking. It's more than a handful. That's at least like a good like 12 or so
Yeah,
times.
that's true.
I don't know. It just seemed like it was enough times that they got to know each other's lives because the way they jumped in between it and they kind of like kept on showing like little things here and there. It seemed like it wasn't only because I don't mean to be a jerk, but if it only happened like 6 or 7 times, it's still an odd occurrence, don't get me wrong, but it
Right.
seemed, and they're also in high school, so you'd get attached, you know, because high school emotions run high and stuff like that, but like, I don't know, it just, to me, it seemed like it happened enough times that there could have been a simple, like, wait a minute, November 2018,
Right.
it's supposed to be 2021,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Well,
you know.
I guess it was kind of a thing they just kind of assumed they were in the same year.
No, it makes sense to
And-
assume that you're in the same year.
Looking at the phone, the year actually... Well, at least at ours, the year
Yes.
actually isn't displayed. which
Right.
is
For
funny.
some reason, I thought the year was displayed. No
Yeah.
idea why. I
Right.
thought it was. It's so odd.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But no, it's just I don't. Again, I'm not trying to sit here and be like, and the movie is trash, right? No,
Well,
no,
because
no.
that was also a point that the director was making, because they asked him about, like, oh, do you think the time stream and all that is, like, hard to follow? Do you think
No.
people get lost? He's like, well, at first I wanted it to be kind of a complex, like, timeline to follow. And then as they kind of went through the process of making the film and looking back, he's like, you know what? It's more important to be able to connect to the characters and how they're
Yes.
feeling in the moment. So he kind of dialed back a little bit on the whole time travel. And he's like, I'm not going to explain everything that's going on because I don't want to get lost in that. The important part is feeling the emotion of the characters. Because as long as you have that, the time travel stuff is kind of like in the back of your mind. So you're like, you don't think about it unless you're like, wait a minute.
You know, yeah, I personally don't find that to be as hard to follow as maybe some other people did. I thought that, and just looking at this from a U.S. lens and someone who is uncultured swine, I would say that some people looking and seeing some Buddhist elements and also some Esper elements, I think would be lost on people. Like, wait, why can she just travel to someone else's consciousness? But like you and I, we've seen some anime where stuff like that happens with Espers. I mean, like, you know, Haruhi Suzumiya and some other stuff, that the concept of being psychic is different than the concept of being an Esper.
Yeah.
Where like psychic, it's kind of more like, oh, we have visions.
Premonitions.
Yeah, things like that. Where an Esper is like
sensing spirits.
Not only sensing spirits, but also having these weird, like, transferring to, like, you actually have powers. Like it might sound odd, but like Yusuke using the spirit gun.
Yeah.
That's like an Esper thing. That's not like a psychic thing.
Or like Kuwabara being able to sense spirits and
then make the gun.
Right. Well, the
sword. Oh, the good sword. Yeah. What's funny is I did the sword motion, and I still said gun. Oh man, this is a bad hangover. Is that what this is? We're recording this the day after Halloween.
Your name is Hangover.
Your name is Hangover. Your name is Chop Suey. We did karaoke last night.
Why'd you leave the keys upon the table?
It was such good karaoke. Never did karaoke before. You know that?
You had fun.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We're not going to promote them yet because, like Tristan said on Kikaku Corner, they got to come to us. We're going to promote that bar. Lovely bar, lovely little place. Yeah. But still, the point is, all jokes aside, never show this to the guy that runs it. It'll be like, not nice. We're going to hate it.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Like, why did you not promote us? Anyway, but back to Your Name. Yeah, we didn't see the dub. We've heard some good things about the dub, though. To be fair, like I've heard it was a good dub.
I've heard a mix.
I'm not saying I haven't heard. Okay, I'm not saying I haven't heard issues. There's always issues.
Yeah, right.
But I've heard overwhelmingly positive.
Okay.
Right? Issues, but I haven't heard like it was shit, is what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't hear people say that they hated the dub completely.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that was the funny thing when we were going to watch it. You're like, so dub is fine. I'm like, well, I kind of wanted to watch the sub. And you're like, all right, fine. I was just asking.
Yeah, right. Which is fine. Well, the reason why I didn't, even though if I remember correctly, I like the actors in the dub, and I'll try to find their names so that we can talk about it. But I didn't have a connection like even though I love subbed Dragon Ball Z, I've talked about this in the past. I understand why, and I hope you guys do too, why when we talked about the Dragon Ball Z movies years ago at this point, we talked about them from the dub's perspective and not only the sub's perspective. Yeah. I saw them subbed, but we grew up with them dubbed.
Right.
This being a new movie, which by the way came out 2 years ago, so for us it's brand new.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But this movie, it does... it didn't I had no issue not watching it dubbed.
Right. But I didn't necessarily have an issue with watching it dubbed, but this is my first time seeing it through, and I just kind of felt like I wanted to see it sub first because it felt like a movie that let me watch this the first way it was presented.
And I will admit the subs, I would like to see it dubbed only because I want to see stuff that they changed. I know a lot of people don't like localization, and I'm not saying I love it either. Like in the Phoenix Wright games, there were definitely issues with localization, of course.
How about this hamburger? It's a bowl of noodles.
No, for me, the reason why I had a problem with that was because they should have been told, like, hey, one day we might show it or something like that, because you have to do... Not you don't have to, but I understand why they did certain localization changes, and then all of a sudden it's like, crap, we're showing the ramen place.
Right, yeah. And it's like, do you really not think we not know what ramen is? I mean, I know not everybody knows what ramen is, but
no. But you have to understand, it wasn't that nobody would know what ramen is. Remember when Phoenix Wright originally came out?
Yeah.
That's a little bit different. Like when Phoenix Wright originally came out, we were kids. We still, I'm not saying we didn't know what ramen was personally, but if you're releasing this to everybody in the U.S.,
it was like that same idea, like when Pokemon was like, "Here's a donut."
Well,
it's
no,
like,
that was different. That should have actually been a rice ball. Rice
Right.
balls exist in the U.S.
Yeah.
They just look a little bit different.
Right. I'm like,
Italian rice balls look different, but like
even as a kid, I'm like that.
no, but
That's
that
not
was
a donut.
no, but that was fucked up. That's different.
Okay.
That's a donut. No, because that's what I'm saying. But no. But that's a donut, right? No, but I'm saying it's different because here's the thing: you saw it visually. I'm not saying you should visually change things, but we didn't see the place in the first game. They just talked about how much they loved it,
Right. Yeah.
and that's why it made sense. And then all of a sudden, in the next game, they show it, and it's like, oh, this is fucking terrible.
Right.
So what I'm trying to get at here is I'm okay with changes, so I want to see what they may have changed in the dub, because obviously they shouldn't have like gotten rid of any of the shrine stuff or anything. Like obviously it's happening on screen. You have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You can't call it a Christian ceremony, you know? That's so dumb. But I am wondering not only with the Ode and Boku jokes and stuff like that, but there was certain talk about like not even the Hand of Fate, but like the Twilight and like other stuff that I think was lost on a city boy like me. Do you know what I mean? Like there's certain
was
stuff
about a city boy and a country girl, Matt.
That's true. That is true.
It wasn't lost on him, at least towards the end.
Yeah, right. No, he got it. He got it by the end.
Eventually.
He got it eventually. No, but you see what I mean, though, right? Certain concepts that they brought up. I think that from not only a U.S. perspective, but also from just from someone who doesn't understand Japanese perspective, I think that, funnily enough to me, was a bit harder to pick up on than time travel. And maybe that's because we watch Doctor Who a lot.
Yeah.
But like the second you tell me that there's time travel, I'm like, makes sense. Really, Matt? Look, she can travel through different people's consciousness. Why does it have to be within the same time period?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, that's where we're drawing the line? Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine that they can switch bodies, but only within their year.
Yeah.
I get it.
And that was another thing that I love, that it's Makoto Shinkai?
Yes,
Yeah.
Makoto Shinkai. Who we've talked about his work before on the podcast.
Yeah, Voices of a Distant Star. Voices of a Distant Star.
Which I actually feel upset, because we talked about that, and I knew that he created that, and I was shocked by having time travel in this. Frankly, she should have left the town by piloting a giant mecha. Really, that's what should have happened.
Yeah, right.
But you see why I was upset, though, because like it's like watching a Stephen King movie and being like, oh my god, this is scary.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he does. I don't know if he does time travel everywhere, but he did in that film.
Yeah, but he does have a lot of sci-fi elements in his other stories, and he likes to use like sci-fi elements to like. It was the idea of bringing forth the characters' like inner workings, like you know how a person their character, their moral fiber, like when you're thrown into this weird kind of event that's going on around you. Like he talked about how when Taki switched places with Mitsuha and he was trying to save her town because he realizes, oh god, the comet is coming and it's going to destroy them all. I have to try and save them. You know, putting that character in that situation, you realize that, oh, he does care. He's a decent person. He's not just some city kid in Tokyo who doesn't give a crap about anything outside of Tokyo.
I'm about to make Tristan want to watch the dubbed version of Your Name. Tessie? Kyle Herbert. Gohan. Adult Gohan. He was Tessie. So I just made Tristan want to watch that dub. Also, Stephanie Shea, who has done some great work. She was Mitsuha. I heard that some people didn't like her interpretation of, like her version of Mitsuha, but I think that there was like some weird. It was like, I don't know if it was a controversy or something at the time where like there were like she did her version. There was a trailer release. They didn't like it, and then it was her doing a different version. Like a different, you know, because obviously voice actor, you can change up your voice. A different version, a different trailer. I might be getting that wrong. Tell me if I am in the comment section down below. But Stephanie Shea, though, she's been, I want to see, she's been Orihime.
Oh,
in Bleach.
Yeah.
She was Hinata in Naruto, Eureka in Eureka 7, and she was Mikuru in Haruhi, the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah.
She's
great.
Oh yeah, no, she has been doing this for a long time, and people have loved her work.
Yeah.
They just had a little bit of issue with the way she did Mitsuha in Your Name, in a way. But I think she may have changed it up or something like that. And then Taki was Michael Sinterniklaas, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Because the last the two A's are like Charlie Haas, a pro wrestler that had two A's at the end of his name. So he, I want to see who he's. Oh wow, he has worked for Studiopolis, Funimation, 4Kids, Central Park Media, Bondi Entertainment, Viz Media, and Media Blasters. I know that like he's clearly amazing at what he does because he's worked with all these different companies, but it felt like he wrote that in the Wikipedia. Like, not just like, I've done these things. It's like, I've worked with these companies. So other companies that are Googling me. But I want to see what he's done because I want to know his roles. Oh, he's been Leonardo in the '03 version of Ninja Turtles. Dean Venture in the Venture Brothers. Not only was he Taki, but I want to see some other stuff. I want to see what the anime he's done. What other anime has he done that we've seen? He was Dagger in Black Butler Book of Circus. In Bleach, he was Nyoitora, Gilga, Lupi, and Tenor, Menace. He was Ikaku.
Oh,
there you go. There you go. He was Ikaku in episode 105 because Ikaku was voiced over by, come on, brain. Fullmetal Alchemist, Vic Mignogna, Vic Tomorrow.
Oh, right.
He was Vic Tomorrow. But I guess maybe for episode 105 he couldn't make it, so he did an impression of him. That's interesting. I have 105 on DVD. I have to go see how he sounds different. That's odd. He was Keenan in Case Closed. That show may have gotten localized a little bit due to the name Keenan being a name. I'm thinking anything that you and I have seen, though. Have you seen Fairy Tail?
No, I have a friend who
all right. Well, he's King Animus in Fairy Tail Dragon Cry. Oh, he's Leo in Fullmetal Alchemist. You know Leo. Everybody remembers Leo. Who the fuck is Leo? I don't know who the fuck Leo is. It's
gonna be like, Matt, are you gonna do this to me?
He's Netherlands in Hetalia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. He, oh god, he was Ichi in the Ichi the Killer anime. Oh, shit. Holy shit. No, because I've seen the live action version. There seems to be he's been in a lot of shit though. I'm still scrolling, but it's nothing that we've seen. He was Sora and Utakata and Reincarnated Ninja, also Villager in Naruto Shippuden. No, but when I said Villager, he just pictured Smash because we just saw the Nintendo Direct. So he's like, "What, Nani?"
What, Nani?
Oh, do you know Mr. Nine from One Piece?
Oh,
and Mayor Boodle. That was the 4Kids dub. That's the name, Mayor Boodle.
Okay.
He's also a Seviper, Joshua, and Kennedy. Not sure if Joshua and Kennedy are also Pokemon, but he is all those three in Pokemon.
Okay, then.
Oh, yeah, all right. I'm going to stop here because there's way too many. He's done a lot. He's been a defense lawyer in Space Dandy. Literally, it's called Defense Lawyer.
Right.
Oh, my God. All right. Oh, he's been Dark Magician in Yu-Gi-Oh! What the fuck?
Damn.
Mahad / Dark Magician. Alrighty, then. Also, he's been in Care Bears. Anyway, that happened. So, yeah, this movie made a hell of a lot of money. I think that I completely understand why it made that money. Mm-hmm. Do you also agree?
I do.
Do you think... I hate to be this guy. Do you... Because Shinkai even brought this up himself.
Yeah.
The idea of, this movie... this movie, not that his movie was bad, but that his movie needed some work or maybe needed some things to be, closed off. Like there was some... I want to get his exact quote, actually, to be fair.
Well, yeah, you were telling me about it. It was like the idea is like this film even beat out some like Miyazaki films in the box office.
And I'm not saying that he thinks personally, the Miyazaki films should be on top. But he's old enough that he definitely grew up on these Miyazaki films. Yeah. So I do wonder if maybe somewhere the fact that this movie beat out those Miyazaki films, he's like... They're not better than Miyazaki Sensei,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because the exact quote is, and this is on Wikipedia, despite the praise he received, Makoto Shinkai insisted that the film is not as good as it could have been. And his quote is, "There are things we could not do. Masashi Ando, the director of animation, wanted to keep working on, but had to stop us for lack of money. For me, it's incomplete, unbalanced, the plot is fine, but the film is not at all perfect. 2 years was not enough." Now, I don't hate the movie. Again, I think it's a really good movie. But do you think that maybe he has a point in terms of not that this should have gotten less money in the box office, not that, I shouldn't buy it because I'm considering buying it on DVD Blu-ray, but do you think that this does beat out those Miyazaki films? Like, do you think that those films, even though it beat them in the box office, do you think that it beats them?
I mean, I don't know. For me personally, like, beats them. I'd say they're on par with each other because, like, Miyazaki is kind of a household name for me. Like, I recognize that name. Whenever I see Miyazaki come up, I pay attention. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a nut. Whenever I see Shinko, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm paying attention now.
Yeah, no, when you see, so you're going to see Shinkai and be like,
Shinkai,
damn it, I was hoping, I didn't want him to catch me correcting him.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's sad. I feel bad because, like, you say it as, like, he's a household name. I will notice that when it's, and then in your head, because you've been saying Shinkai all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I'm trying to get at, though, is that, when I say, the thing is, I wonder if perhaps this movie did better because it did something, even though I love what Miyazaki has done, and I like it more than Your Name, I would say that some of these are better than Your Name. But I think that it took certain elements that not just kids are going to watch it, but maybe also teens and adults. Like, when I say that, I mean it like this, right? Where a lot of us, at least in the US, we grew up on Miyazaki films. Like, when we were children, we watched it, we were like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then as teenagers, if we still stayed with anime, we looked back and said, yes, this is good. And then as adults, even if people don't like anime, there are still adults that are like, oh, I remember those movies because they were good movies.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, with Your Name, I do wonder if it potentially got in a crowd, like even adults in Japan and maybe even in the US, who are like, we don't really watch anime, but this movie looks good. I do wonder if its romantic elements drew those people in a way that maybe some of Miyazaki's fantastical elements wouldn't have drawn in adults who may have criticized it, like, And again, because the thing is, the reason why I say this is, if you grew up with Miyazaki, and you are also like okay with anime, you're gonna hold it close to your heart. Heck, even if you don't like anime, you still saw it as a kid. You're gonna hold it close to your heart.
Yeah.
I do wonder if some people, sadly, and I don't mean it overall, because Miyazaki has still had a lot of a lot of praise in the West as well.
Right. Yeah.
But I do wonder if perhaps it did so much better just in the box office because kids, teenagers and adults all together went to see Your Name in theaters, maybe even an older crowd too that just likes the romantic aspect. Like, I'm wondering if
like that might have played a part in it too.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more of a romantic aspect and there's a happy ending and stuff like that.
Yeah, because Miyazaki's films, while I love them to death, they do have optimism in the face of despair, which I think is a beautiful thing that transcends all age.
Right.
But I do wonder if, like, just certain elements, like, oh no, my parents have been turned to pigs, like maybe older people are like, what the fuck, and they walk away. But in this case, they like the only thing that they showed during trailers, which I actually feel like was, even though I'm happy that they didn't spoil the twist, I kind of felt like I was gypped because I thought we were going to get more of a romantic, like, Freaky Friday versus getting, dude, no, I'm just saying, like, could you imagine if halfway through Freaky Friday, fucking Lindsay Lohan was in that, right? I'm talking about the remake. Lindsay Lohan learns that her mom died 3 years ago. Fucking holy shit! Like, you see what I mean? Like, but it's true. Could you imagine? Yeah, like, that changes the context up completely.
Yeah.
So, and granted, I'm happy that wasn't spoiled. We were seeing a trailer on the Blu-ray, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Right.
I feel like I knew the entire fucking movie after watching that trailer. I still want to see the movie. It looks good. But I felt like I learned the entire movie. Where seeing the trailer for Your Name, it made it seem like it was like, oh my god, we've switched bodies, and like, but then they also kind of fall for each other in a way throughout.
Right. Yeah.
Versus halfway through the movie, you just have Taki like, is she dead? 3 years ago, yeah. What? Oh no, fucking dead.
That town got wiped off the map, bro.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
No, yeah, like that old guy was like...
Did you meet this girl online? Like, what the hell is going on?
And when did you meet her online? Like, why did you just stop talking? Like, did you not realize something was weird after 3 years?
Like, I love his friends just looking at him. Like, it's funny how, like, they go along with him to the point... Because they're like, obviously this is important to you, and we don't want you to go alone because we're still kind of worried about you because you might be going insane, but at the same time...
Well, no, I think they were worried because it's like, hey, listen... are we going to let our because think about us in high school, we really let one of our 17-year-old friends, if we were 17 or even like 16, or if we knew someone who had graduated, or we have super seniors, so we had super seniors at our high school, so like, you know, you had some like 21 seniors, would they have let us just go to like, you know, PA or something like that, or just drive off for hours off on our own? No. Yeah. Like, we would have at least 1 to 2 people concerned enough to be like, we're just going to watch you. You're meeting this. Who are you even meeting? Why are you even going?
Right.
Like, it's so random for you. You have your daily routine. And yes, you're right about the whole, like, are you okay? Because, like, every once in a while, he would change up his routine because he would be possessed by...
Right.
But, or, you know, by Mitsuha. So, they're like, we just want to make sure you're okay, Taki. We just want to make sure you're okay. And, yeah. But I do think it's odd, though, that, like... The one thing I'll say that's odd... and this, you could argue this is a nitpick or whatever, but like the fact that later on in the movie he's just like, yeah, and I woke up on a mountain. You said hypothermia. I wasn't even going for that. Him waking up on the mountain and being okay. Yeah. I was saying more so like he wakes up and he's just like, and my friends left me. I still hang out with one of them on a day-to-day basis. Like, or at least it seems like they get together every once in a while at the cafe. Yeah. I would be pissed at him. Be like, you fucking left me on a mountain. I had to hitchhike like, home.
He even says at some point, it's like, maybe we had a disagreement. Like, I don't remember.
Well, he doesn't remember because of everything it was surrounded.
Yeah. Right.
No, I was only feeling like, bruh, he left you on a mountain. I wouldn't talk to you if you left me on a mountain, Tristan. That's the thing.
Please, Matt. I wouldn't leave you on a... If I was going to leave you on a mountain, I would make sure you weren't coming back.
That's why I don't go hiking with him. He's like, Matt, why don't you go hiking with me? That's why. Like, I don't go hiking with him. And you go hiking with Toto, and it's just like, oh, Matt, are you upset that you didn't get to come? Nope, I'm cool with not being murdered. I'm perfectly fine with not being murdered.
Yeah, well, Anthony Toto's come back every time, no problem, so you know what?
I don't know, man. I feel like he comes back a little bit less himself. That's an Iron Fist reference. I feel like he comes back a little bit... You don't know what that's referencing.
Oh my God, no.
Someone out there does. They've had the misfortune of watching the season. Like I have.
I feel like that's the other way around, but...
What?
Never mind.
The misfortune of watching...
No, me and Anthony.
Oh, okay. That's funny, actually. No, but still, I don't... Yeah, I'm not saying that I hate this movie, because again, like I said earlier, I think it lives up to its hype, but I cannot... Once Shinkai even says, hey, there's some stuff that's incomplete, you can see... I think you can see where those pieces are. Like, like, when I say incomplete, right, what am I referring to specifically? Just the calendar thing, for one. Maybe the fact that I don't think it was rushed necessarily, but the fact that it just goes from like 0 to 100 of like, yeah, so I'm stuck at a mountaintop, but either way I was fine. It's been 5 years. It's just like it's like that kind of that's a problem. Like you were left on a mountaintop. How'd you get home, man?
How are you alive?
Yeah.
I mean, he got there.
Right? Yeah. I mean, but he got there with his friends. They all had the money. God knows if he still had his wallet. Like coyotes. I don't know. Coyotes are coyotes.
A cat might have come in his window and stole his wallet. You're not going to get that reference either.
Probably not.
Very few people who will get that reference.
Alrighty
Probably no one who's listening either.
No, but you see where I'm coming from though, Tristan. There was a few things that I felt like they could have done a bit more, maybe like a bit more explanation. Like you even mentioned them dropping the time travel explanation, which I don't think they needed, but maybe that. I'm thinking. Well, I will say though, my favorite part of the movie is during the evacuation because of how shit revved up and really ramped up. Not that I think the movie was slow, but I really enjoyed that fast pace. Like, oh shit, we really have to do something about this.
Right.
And frankly, I'm shocked that it worked because I really thought they were going to go with only she survived or something, or none of them survived.
Right.
You know, that's the one thing that I have to say that. Even though Shinkai didn't say it directly, I do think that he may have been inspired by like Miyazaki's kind of that hopefulness.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he kind of went into a bit more dread than I think Miyazaki has from the movies that I've seen. And the reason why I say dread is, yeah, it sucks that your mom and dad are pigs, but your fucking town isn't going to get nuked or going to get hit with a fucking comet. You know, like that to me, I was like, that's a bit more dread. That's a bit more Merkin. And it's although the difference is that in America, we would like find a way to try to stop the comet. Where in their case, the difference I think that's very interesting is it isn't going against that flow of time.
Right.
It isn't
or
like
that natural element.
that natural element. Yeah,
Right.
it's accepting the natural element. But
Like,
how
there's
can
a
we?
comet coming, splitting in half. We cannot stop this.
But how can we survive it?
Right.
Right. It's the same thing with like a Godzilla. How can we contain this
Right.
natural, quote unquote, this natural
Phenomenon.
destruction
Yeah. Right.
phenomenon? How do we contain it? How do we stop it? Yeah, you could argue it's stopping it, but it's not like it's
Let's
not
shoot the asteroid with a missile.
Yeah, exactly. Because then what would happen? Do you know what would happen if they shot the asteroid with a missile, Tristan?
Create more asteroids.
Yeah, it doesn't vaporize. It just turns into smaller particles that would be spread throughout Japan and the world.
Yeah, the amount of energy that you would need to completely vaporize it would probably destroy half the planet anyway.
Vegeta. And so, not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Father, you're going to destroy the whole planet! Stop!
Father, no. Father, yes.
Vegeta, yes!
But still, yeah. I do. Tangent. We went off on.
Oh my god.
But no, yeah. So that's the one
Tangent,
thing.
your name is.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, your name is. We should kind of throw it over to you, Tristan. Do you disagree? Do you agree about like some of the do you disagree with Shinkai? I know he created it, but you're like, no, you're being too hard on yourself.
Like, I understand where he's coming from, as a creator, and I would probably feel the same way that he would if I was in his shoes. But
As long
from
as-
the audience,
yeah.
like, watching it, yeah, I felt like it was very well put together. Like, overall, like, in the moment when I was watching it, I thought things jumped around a little bit. But, like, viewing the film from an overall perspective, I'm like, you know what?
Also-
No, the pacing, I like it just the way it is. Like, I think it is a very well put together film.
And you saw it more than once because you saw it first alone, then with me. And so that's why I'm sure it's a bit easier for you to follow once you
Yeah.
have that context.
And that's something that I think Shinkai even talked about. It's like, it's something like with the time travel aspects and stuff. He's like, if the more times that you watch it, the more clear some of that stuff kind of like gets. But as long as you still have that connection to the two main characters, like, you can still enjoy the movie. Like, it's still a fulfilling movie.
Right. And I want to mention that this is just from when it was released, but actually no, it's Japan's top 5 box office movies in 2016. And this is in the billions of yen, by the way.
Wow.
20 at your name. Number 1, 23.56 billion yen.
Holy shit.
Now, I can't convert that for you guys because even if we tried, even though I was like, Tristan, let's do this, 2016 money is different than 2018 money. So if we were doing it like in the moment, no, it is. Same, I mean, dude, like when it comes to yen or US conversion,
Right.
I mean, even looking at like video games, if I told you, did you know that the Super Nintendo was $300 in 1990?
Right.
Inflation.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I can't say exactly how much it would be USD. But
That would be like a decade difference. This is like
But
2 years. Would
that's
there
still
be
it's
that
still a
much of
little bit.
difference?
It's still a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens was number 2, but remember though,
Whoop.
remember your name was 23.56.
Yeah.
The Force Awakens was 11.63. That's
Oh,
the
wow.
difference. Shin Godzilla was 8.25 at number 3.
All of my favorites at the top.
Number 4, Zootopia at 7.63.
All right, Zootopia was good.
Bark Bark. I don't know. And then, this one's hard. Finding Dory, because on my mobile, this is how I'm trying to read it.
God.
Yeah, no, mobile has it fucked up on Wikipedia. Finding Dory is 6.83. And again, this is in the billions of yen. They have it listed on Wikipedia. 23 billion yen is roughly $190 million.
Okay. Wow.
That's still good money though. So it is the something to second largest gross for a domestic film. Oh, it achieved the second largest gross for a domestic film in Japan, behind Spirited Away.
Right.
So it was
Miyazaki.
behind Spirited Away,
Right.
and as this reloads, and the 4th largest ever behind Titanic and Frozen. It is the first anime not directed by Hayao Miyazaki to earn more than 100 million, or 10 billion yen. Because it was $100 million, 10 billion yen at the Japanese box office. It topped the box office in Japan for a record-breaking 12 non-consecutive weekends. It held the number 1 position for 9 consecutive weekends before being toppled by Death Note light up the new world in the last weekend of October. It returned to the top for another 3 weeks before finally being dethroned by Hollywood Blockbuster, which I didn't even realize that... I should realize that this is popular in Japan because Harry Potter is huge in Japan. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Right.
But I forgot for a second that Harry Potter is actually popular in Japan as well. So of course Fantastic Beasts would topple that. Yeah, no, and then in China it became the highest grossing Japanese film in the world's second largest movie market on December 17, 2016. It has grossed $81.3 million in China and is the highest grossing 2D animated film in the country. Its opening screened in over 7,000 theaters, and it made an estimated $10.9 million on its opening day from 66,000 screenings and attracting over 2.77 million admissions. The biggest 2D animated opening in the country. Hot damn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's, like I said earlier, it's done well worldwide.
It's worth its salt.
It definitely is. That's the thing, like, I'm not in any way going to say, because I'll say it over and over again, it's worth how much it got, but there definitely are flaws, but I think that the way the movie was made, the way the characters interacted with each other and everything like that, it drew, like, you were able to emotionally you were able to feel so attached to the characters. I think that it does actually kind of glaze over some of those faults in a way. Yeah. And that's why...
If you don't cry during this movie, you don't have a soul. I'm sorry.
Well, you heard it here. Exclusive. No, but you know what?
You teared up.
No, I cried like a baby. Okay. Like a babe. Yeah, no, because the thing is, I didn't expect it to end with them actually meeting each other. Right. I thought it was going to end with the whole, oh, I see you. Like, I thought they were just going to walk past each other and never talk to each other.
Right.
And I didn't... nervous? Well, no. When that happened, I knew they were going to talk to each other. Right. But
you can't do this to me.
No, but when the movie started, I thought they're going to see each other after this whole debacle is over, and they're never going to know each other.
Right.
I thought they were going to go with that ending. But again, I think that Shinkai having that inspiration from not just Miyazaki, but other Japanese storytellers as well, I do think that it's that idea of, no, there should be some type of hope.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
and
it shouldn't just end bleakly.
Especially from, like, his other films, too. Like, a lot of them do have... Like, yeah, there is turbulence and there is, problems going on throughout the movie, but, like, there usually is a hopeful or a happy kind of ending.
Wasn't that the one with the girl piloting mech in space? Wasn't that sad or no? Didn't she die?
From a Distant Star. Oh, God,
that one was sad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That one was kind of sad, actually. Yeah. But no, I only bring it up because of the fact that, not that movie, but just in general, like, the bleakness is that, like, I think about other, countries and their movies. It's like, in France, they would have never met and they would have both been smoking cigarettes. It would have been very sad and everyone would have cried.
Yeah.
But for different reasons. Like, I just thought that they would never meet each other.
Right.
And it would be a very, like a bleak kind of American kind of thing where it's like they don't meet each other and they're shooting guns. And I would like to say, though, we talked about on an episode of Kikaku Corner a while ago, I think like in season 1, there was the idea of there being an American adaptation. At the time, I thought it was dumb.
Yeah.
Now I actually kind of get it. Only because of those Buddhist elements with the shrine and things like that. I can understand there being an American adaptation. However, I would like, if they're smart about this, have it be someone in America. Like, the dude is like some American, like in New York or a bigger city. And they still keep the Japanese elements. And they actually bring in a Japanese actress. And they film in Japan for that side.
That would be interesting.
That would be good, because you can also give a spotlight to a Japanese actress instead of whitewashing the whole thing, which I don't usually consider American adaptations whitewashing, only because, like, unless like Death Note, I don't think it's inherently Japanese necessarily. I think that could take place in the U.S. Yeah. Now, I don't like the way that they did it. We talked about that a while ago on the podcast. We did a whole review on the Death Note Netflix live action movie, but I don't think that movie has to be inherently Japanese. Yeah. Like, it would be like a movie like Attack on Titan or Black Butler.
Yeah.
I don't think those are inherently Japanese. Right. You could have American adaptations. Same thing with like My Hero Academia or something like that. But in this case, there is something about it that, while I understand that there would be an American adaptation, why there could be, because certain stuff could be lost on American audiences, I don't know if that necessarily means that we should remove, like, they could, because they transcend both time and place,
Yeah.
why can't it be a different country?
Right. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Also, because our movies, I say ours and America's, don't just stay in America. They go everywhere.
Right.
So why not? But even if they didn't do that, I'm not saying I would hate it. I'm just saying that I actually kind of understand for once. Because normally when I hear American adaptation of something, it's like, was there something that we can't get just from watching the Japanese version?
Right.
Oh, like there's that movie, I think it's like called Train to Busan or Busan. It just came out. It's a Korean horror movie about zombies on a train. Like zombie outbreak happens while they're on a bullet train.
Ooh.
And they have to get out.
Oh, jeez.
Very horror, like very good horror movie. People love it. And there's talk of an American adaptation, and some people are up in arms because it's like,
why does it need?
it doesn't need it.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. Like you can just watch it with subs.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a zombie horror movie on a train. Why does it
Right.
need to? But it made a fuckload of money though.
Yeah.
Just like this movie did, but for different reasons.
Right.
I don't think it's the same crowds. I don't think the same crowds like both. But you see what I'm getting at, though, right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't need to be, why? In this case, I'm not saying it needs. And also, some people say that it undermines American animation, which I also get. Like, we don't want to do that or not American, but it undermines animation in general. When you say, "Oh, well, there has to be," like I talked about this with Toto on
Right.
Kikaku Corner while you were away. We talked about the Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix live action adaptation.
Right.
We were like, but it was good enough as a television show.
Right.
Why does
As
it need to?
animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does it need to be made into a live action TV show?
Right.
Are you gonna do the same things? If you're gonna do the same things, then why does it matter?
Yeah.
It just fucking doesn't. So in this case, if they do something different, like maybe across countries, or even if they remove the Buddhist elements, which again I'm not saying I agree with, but if they did, I'd understand why that would be different, and why maybe certain American audiences would get it more. But I have to say though, with how much money this made in the U.S. box office, although I want to find, because it doesn't show how much it made in the U.S. box office, but I know that people loved it though. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't find one person who didn't tell me at a certain point to go see Your Name.
Yeah. And I'm actually sad that I didn't, because I heard it coming out and I was hearing great things about it, and I did want to actually go and see it in theaters, but I just never got around to it. Don't know why, but I'm
Yeah.
glad I finally got to see it now, because I've actually had the copy from my friend for a while now. He's like, "Have you watched it yet?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, please understand."
Yeah.
Yeah, so another point that I wanted to talk about was the music in this movie is phenomenal.
Which was the rock band, by the way, is Radwimps.
Yeah.
Radwimps. Yojiro Noda, who's the lead vocalist of Radwimps, and they composed the theme the theme music for Your Name. And then, actually, Makoto Shinkai requested him.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting. He requested him to compose the music, quote unquote, in a way that the music will supplement the dialogue or monologue of the characters.
Yeah.
And it features a few songs. It features Yume Toro, which is Dream Lantern, Zen Zen Zense, or Zen Zen Zense,
Yeah, that
Past Life,
That was for the opening, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
and the trailers.
Sparkle, and Nande Monaya. Yeah, Nande Monaya, which literally, it's nothing.
Right.
And then the soundtrack of the film, that's like, was well received by audience and critics alike. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the music is beautiful. Like, I would buy their music.
Okay, and the Wikipedia says that that's potentially why it did well at the box office, because I gotta be real, like, if people really love the music and then they bought the soundtrack and then they went to, that could also be a great way to tie it all together. So to be fair, you know what? Yeah, probably. That would work, because I never thought of, even though I liked the music when watching it, I've only seen it once, so I never thought of it as a way to buy the sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never, because it's a movie versus like a what is it? Because it's a standalone movie versus a Dragon Ball Z movie where they have an ending theme that you're like, oh, I want to buy that theme, and then it's by I can't remember the name of the artist who sung. It wasn't Masaki Endo who sung Chala Head Chala. Who sung? Because that same guy who sang Chala Head Chala, they got him back to do the endings as well for all those DBZ movies.
Oh, right, yeah.
It wasn't. Damn it! It was not Masaki Endo.
Yeah,
But
I can't
still,
remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, I'll find him. But still, I will find him. That was low key threatening. Hironobu Kageyama.
There you go.
So when they brought him back to do stuff like a big fight, and stuff like that.
That was Broly, right?
Oh, actually, it was right.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
And then I think End of Tree of Might he did, and Lord Slug.
Oh, and he also did, I think, the Wrath of the Dragon. Ichisanchanaide. Yeah, that one, that really powerful one.
Right.
But still, so when you look at those movies, you're like, oh, I want to buy that, and they of course released singles every single time.
Right, yeah.
But I think of that more as like, oh yeah, it helps make the money, and the machine keeps going and stuff like that. Even though we love Dragon Ball Z, they were only 50 minutes, 40 minutes.
Right,
they were there just to be put out alongside the other two Toei movies.
Right.
This one, what if they were either live action tokusatsu or if they were like anime, like Case Closed, or well, not Case Closed, but like other Shonen Jump stuff as well. Right. But in this case, because it was funded by Toho, but I took this as more of a, like it's a standalone thing. We're looking at it differently than we look at a Dragon Ball Z movie.
Right. It's an animated film, but it's like you think of the film part of it more than like it's an anime. It's not an anime movie.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And some people will probably shit on us for saying that, but I think it's because you and I grew up with anime movies as supplements to TV shows versus being on their own. Like, other than the Miyazaki films, I think you and I really have seen anime movies as tie-ins. Like for Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Case Closed, One Piece. Yeah. Even though you don't have the movies never came out here, but Sergeant Frog, and now you have those DVDs.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, of course. Digimon.
Yeah, Digimon. Yeah.
We can just keep on going with supplemental movies that come out.
Right.
Or compilations even, like Death Note. Heck, Code Geass just got some. Yeah, or they've had some for a bit, but we learned about them. That's what it is. We learned about them. So yeah, it comes off more as like a standalone thing. That I didn't think that the song, even though it's good, could sell so much that people would be like, I want to hear the music in the movie. But that's also a great way to look at it as well. Like if the music does well, the movie does well. I mean, that happens in the U.S. as well. That's why you'll have new artists or big artists. They'll make songs exclusively for a movie, or their thing will get bought. Their new song will get bought out, and those rights will be used for the movie or trailer or whatever. And then you're like, wait, was that done by Eminem? Right, or was that done by so and such and such? I mean, that happened a few years back. Eminem came out with a song called Legacy. I think it was a single too, and that song was used in WWE for WrestleMania, a feud with John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Yeah. And here's the funny thing, Tristan. Legacy was never heard until that promo for WrestleMania. Yeah. So nobody could even buy it. They can only hear it through that. Right. So, and that happens with US movies as well. So people could have maybe only heard that song, the one at the beginning of the movie, in the trailers for the movie. And they're like, "Oh, this sounds good. Yeah. We like this band. How can we buy this?" Right, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so you wanted to talk about it because you really enjoyed it and how it complemented the film.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a perfect complement for the film itself. Very high energy, but also very softer tones.
No Maximum the Hormone.
No, that that would that would have been hilarious. That kind of reminds me of another anime that just came out. Yeah, Zombieland Saga.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh god, I have to show that to you.
It's like just them screaming.
It starts out typical schoolgirl going to school, and then just the metal drops immediately, and it's beautiful. Did you have another point about the music? Or?
Well, not just the music, but I think, and maybe it's because we watched it on Blu-ray, and we were very close to that television, because it's a small TV, but in a good way. Well, no, because I like smaller TVs more, because larger TVs, I feel like you do lose a little bit of, definition here and there. Definition is probably not the right word. The pixels can sometimes look off. It's with my TV, I'll look at some things and I'm like, and then I'll watch it on yours, and I'm like, it's beautiful. Right. But no, I think it's just I don't get to see anime and Blu-ray a lot, because even though I have a PS4, I just prefer DVDs. I don't know why. Even though Blu-ray is coming down in price, still, for some reason, I just know that if something happened to my PS4, I can just pop in a DVD anywhere. Right. Literally anywhere. My computer, my other computer that's kind of iffy, but the CD drive still works. The PS2, right? Even I know it would look shitty because no HDMI, but a PS2, not a PS1, but no, not even the Wii. Wow. PS3. Although that plays Blu-rays as well, to be fair. But still, you can popping a DVD anywhere, so I don't really get anime on Blu-ray a lot, if at all. Only got the Brotherhood sets because those got dropped by Funimation for certain reasons that we've talked about on our Keikaku Corner show before. So those articles and all that stuff we talked about, they'll be on our YouTube channel. Those guys on the radio, unless that's where you're listening to this, in which case, there it is. It's right there. But still, what I'm getting at here is watching it in Blu-ray. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the comet was so gorgeous, and that's what's so sad about something so beautiful being instrumental to their destruction.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
and it was even as, you know, the characters are watching it go overhead, like just talking about, you know, it was so beautiful it looked like a scene out of a dream. And like it's funny and twisted at the same way because they are having these dreams where they switch places and then they finally come to the realization that this comet is the thing separating them after
it's
half the movie.
It's crazy. It was but again, it's so beautiful in a sense. And also, so her dad lost his career. I'm super happy about that. No, because I gotta be real with you, Tristan. Even though it was like 1,000 years ago, still, if the town was formed via a comet, and you haven't had a comet for a long time get that close,
right?
And then it's like
the comet's coming around again.
You
think you'd be a little, you know, like
a little.
Maybe we should watch this closely because
I mean, just evacuate the area. It's a small town,
right? Yeah, or at least just keep observation on it and be like, okay, everything looks fine.
Yeah,
okay,
no, but
good.
It seems fine. It took an act of eco-terrorism to truly bring this movie together.
Oh god, I used too much explosive.
That was so funny.
The power station
sitting there.
Explodes.
Yeah, no, like I'm
They're
sitting
like,
there. You know what's the thing though? So like that's another thing too I have to say that just came to mind. Us viewing it.
Right.
We're rooting Tessie on because we're like, good, he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But what if he wasn't? Could you imagine how that looks if the comet didn't strike?
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I thought was going to happen for the longest time. It's like, oh god, they're going to do all this and the comet's actually just going to pass them this time.
Mm-hmm. I was a little bit worried about that, but I thought they were just hopefully going to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was going to be the entire town was going to be wrecked, annihilated. Right. Yeah. Everyone was going to die other than Mitsuha.
Yeah. I thought that for a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
But then
especially when she got a full-on concussion.
When she tripped down the road.
A concussion vacation.
Yeah.
Just very...
When that happened, I thought, well, that's it. That's how she's going to die.
No,
She's not getting back up after that.
Right? No, I thought she got hit in the head and she was going to be far enough away from the blast zone.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like, she's fine, but everybody else... I was just really sad about the dog. Like there were people around. I mean, her grandma too, because her grandma seemed dope. Yeah. But like the dog, I was really sad at as well. When the dog was barking too, by the way, it was funny because like you were saying like, oh yeah, the dog knows like he's
humans. Well, it's funny. The dog probably would have actually been like, guys.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like the dog can sense the comet coming. You were saying that the dog can sense that she was psychic. I was saying that the dog was barking like, you have to understand, I'm someone from Tokyo, 20 years in the future. I know.
I'm trying to save you. Why won't you listen to me?
I understand what's happening. The dog
bark.
The dog has also been switched. But no, that
Matt
isn't
has
what
to
happened.
make jokes to relieve the tension of the scene.
That's what I said to you multiple times. Like, I had to make jokes because
and then as
it was
the
so
comet's
sad.
coming down, I start singing. In the end, it doesn't even matter, and he just looks at me like, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, God. Oh my God. 20 years ago. This movie came out 20 years ago, and Funimation released it 20 years ago. They would have used American songs. It would have just been them singing It Doesn't Even Matter.
Oh my God.
What song from Disturbed would have fit? I don't know.
Oh my God. But that is one thing. The scene where the comet comes down, and like they have the music playing, and just as the comet like breaks through the clouds, and you just see the shrine and the school, and it stops, and it's just dead silent, and the impact just happens.
Yeah.
And then the explosion and the sound comes back and everything is destroyed. I'm like, oh, they actually showed it.
Well, the thing is, when they didn't show people,
right?
I had hope
kind of
that
the tip off
at the very least they didn't want to scar us. I didn't want to see a fucking flying dog. Like, I warned you.
Yeah,
you know,
that was kind of the tip off. Like, wait, did they?
Yeah,
did they actually get out?
So I was because I was thrown off. So they said that nobody was killed, or most people weren't killed.
Yeah, no, there were no deaths. There were a few injuries, but like everyone lived. Like they did evacuate the town. She was able to. Persuade her father.
Oh, so wait, they persuaded.
Yeah, well, because when she runs into the office the second time, when Mitsuha is back in her own body, and she walks up to him. And then they show the comet coming after. It's implied she was actually able to convince her father, like, we need to go. Because he's looking up at the sky. Oh, God, the comet actually split in half. She might be right. We need to get out of here.
I thought she, even though the, what's it called? Even though the politician, her dad, I remember her dad's name, I don't remember it.
I don't remember.
Even though he tried desperately to clasp defeat out of the jaws of victory, he tried really hard.
Yeah.
Even though he tried doing that, I thought that her riling up the town enough, especially with some goddamn explosions, they were freaking out enough that they did kind of disperse just enough.
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were trying to imply, because the town was still kind of like, there's explosions, those comets are up there, we should really move.
Right. Yeah.
I thought they were going with that, but no, because it was hard to read, because that another part, because it was around trying to wrap up that part of the movie, it just snapping your fingers, that went by a bit too quick. Yeah. That's the only part that I really didn't understand, that part, because time travel to me, for some reason, just felt natural.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's because, like, I understood, like, oh, they're trying to still communicate with each other. I mean, yes, I was wondering, like, can he actually change the future? Because while time can be rewritten, it is a fixed point in time.
Yeah.
And they realize the doctor comes in, it can hit. They can live,
but
the comet has to hit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So no one can live there anymore, but they can all live.
Right. But that was the idea we brought up earlier. Like, it's a different idea, and I think it's a cultural idea, how you don't change the natural phenomenon that's going on because it's a force of nature. We as humans can't prevent them. We have to live around them. It's a part of our lives that we have to incorporate and work with.
Although I do wonder if in one production meeting, Shinkai did bring up the idea of a giant robot. I do wonder.
Mitsuha!
Oh my god, Mitsuha like has like a giant version of the ribbon, like as a whip.
Oh god, yeah.
You just hear G Gundam's theme playing.
Yeah, she wraps the ribbon around her arm and like the gauntlet appears.
Shining a finger!
Shining Gundam.
Jesus Christ. Your name is Gundam.
Your name is Shining Finger.
Oh god.
Yeah.
No, but I loved seeing Mitsuha's friends later on, like seeing Taki even half recognize them. That was actually really sweet, because when I saw the two of them, I was like, I don't know who these people are, and then she said Tessie, and Tristan saw me go just out loud. It was great.
And you even see her little sister like in school in Tokyo too.
I thought they were actually going to have, like, when they flashed the two of them again, like, originally, I thought they were flashing to the sister having a Freaky Friday moment with some other dude in Tokyo.
Yeah, no.
No. They were just showing the two of them again.
That would be hilarious, though. It's like, your name, too, and it's the younger sister, and she's like, oh, God, this is the shit my sister went through.
Right now, some dude is feeling my breasts. The movie.
Oh god.
That was a fun running gag, I think, actually. Like, something like, I know, like, but the reason why I thought it was a fun running gag isn't because, yes, it is inappropriate that he is touching her breasts. That's
when
wrong.
They body switch.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Well, because there's even a point where he's like...
the sister's reaction is fucking hilarious.
Well, because, at that point, like, he knows that she's going to get hit by the comet, but he wakes up in her body again, and he's like, oh my god, you're still alive, and he's really happy for 1 minute, and he's like...
But he's crying.
He's crying, and he's like, wait,
fondling the breasts.
It's like, I shouldn't shouldn't do this for her sake. And then the sister opens the door, and he's just sobbing, yeah. And she's like, oh god, my sister has finally lost it. And then, like, he freaks out, it's like, my sister! And she slams the door in his face, like, she's finally lost her mind. Oh god, she's finally lost her mind. I'm leaving with it. Like, she goes into the kitchen, tells her grandmother, I'm leaving for school without her. She's lost her mind. I need to get out of here.
To me, I think that running gag was only funny because of the reaction.
Well, that was one thing I was kind of worried about the film when I first heard about it.
Oh, they were going to do too much of that?
Because they were going to do the body switch between Taki and Mitsuha, and I'm like, so, because I looked at my friend, and I'm like, so, I know that's a thing. So I'm like, what, like, was there a lot of that? Was it
like, yeah, because you're worried about it being, you're worried about it being a bad comedy.
Yeah.
And again, but I think it was tasteful, where it's just like,
it's kind of that idea. It's like, you switch bodies, and it's kind of like,
you're a little bit confused at the very least.
Well, oh yeah, you're freaked out at first, of course, and you're like, is this happening? And then, of course, the one way to tell, it's like, everyone's going to do that eventually to be like, is this happening? And it's like, oh god, it's happening.
You know, I'm a large man, so if I look down, I'd be like, I still have breasts. Wait. Thank goodness I still have these breasts.
Oh, I broke the microphone with that
You
one.
did. I'm going to have to lower that in post. This may have to come out a week later, editing the audio levels. But no, I think that it's a joke that I can understand why some people wouldn't like it, but I think that, and I don't either, I just love the reaction from family. That's what's funny to me.
Yeah.
I think that joke is funnier than, Taki using the wrong pronouns, because I feel like that's kind of granted they're all in high school, so you know how everyone was in high school, they're a little iffy. Yeah. But like, a little bit weird in that regard, because like for me, I'm like, why is it a problem if he uses different pronouns?
Right.
Like to me, granted they're just different than what he normally uses. That's why. Right. But the joke was more so like, Ore is correct.
Yeah.
And to me that wasn't funny, but like, what was funny was just the sisters. Understandably over the top reactions to her just being like, why are you touching your own breasts, you fucking weirdo?
Yeah, it's time for breakfast. You were supposed to cook this morning.
Yeah, exactly. What I think is interesting too is that even though they don't need to explain the time travel, the grandma, sure, she explained it, quote unquote, by being like, this happens, this is in the family's lineage.
Right.
That's definitely something that's kind of just left on the table.
Yeah, like she seems very chill with it. She's like, oh, it stopped after a little while. It's like, oh, they're just dreams. Like, you should savor them, though. They're fun, right?
But no, it's only weird because of the fact that, like, she says, are you dreaming again, as if she's not conscious in the...
Right.
Like, as if they're, like, waking dreams.
Yeah.
I think it's an Esper thing that just didn't translate culturally in the subs. Maybe there's, like, a better version of it if we had, like, read a script or something, and, like, I don't know. But still, it's just weird, you know? Like, only weird because, again, granted, it was such a sad moment when it was, like, are you dreaming? And then that was when the comet was coming down, and then I fucking cried. Just at that alone, because I was like, oh my god, like, she went out of consciousness and everything in that moment and everything like that. That made me cry. But in general, though, like you said, she was extremely chill with it.
Yeah.
Which is why the line, what an ordinary response, Grandma, was
right, because then she actually says, she's like, oh, so you understand, or Taki kind of Mitsuha's body, he's like, oh, so you understand, like, I'm trying to save you people, there's going to be a comet coming down.
Nah.
And then you see, Mitsuha running down the street later, and it's like, oh, thanks, Grandma. What a normal response of, are you sure you are? Like,
I wonder what happened 1,000 years ago, though, because I don't think their ancestors died via the comet, since she's there.
Right.
Someone survived. Right. So I wonder if 1,000 years ago a similar situation happened. Maybe. That actually would be... It's funny. So Shinkai has said he does not want to do a sequel. I fully respect his wishes. Oh, yeah. I don't think this story needs to be expanded upon at all.
Yeah.
However, if they wanted to do 1,000 years ago version of Your Name, that would be wonderful. I don't know what would be going on 1,000 years ago. I don't know how that would work. It's not 100 years ago. It's 1,000.
Yeah.
But still, though,
it wouldn't be a big city and a rural town. It would be rural town and rural town.
Yeah, right. I mean, one could look different than another depending on where it's done. Sure. Yeah. But still, it still would be two rural towns, you're right. Yeah. No, but it would be interesting to see some kind of continuation. But again, You know what it is, dude? I think that, and I don't think it's an American perspective because anime goes on a long time too. So we definitely can't try to claim like, oh, in Japan every story is short. Bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think though that there is a problem. And even though yes, Japan can do it too, it's definitely a US centric problem. And again, maybe it's just because we live here, we're closer to the blast zone. No pun intended. His face right now. No pun intended, Tristan. But I do think that we live in a society that has no problem with making 18 versions of the same goddamn thing. And you might be thinking I'm talking about Marvel here. Funnily enough, I'm not. I actually enjoy Marvel movies. I think they can be different enough that they're still superheroes, sure, but like you could potentially watch the first movie of each Marvel movie, even if you're not watching Avengers, and you're not missing a lot.
Right.
A new character might appear, but you might just be able to accept that, oh, that's Ant-Man, whatevs. Mm-hmm. But what I'm getting at is, with the idea of like, I'm trying to think of like one franchise, because most of them I think of as TV shows, but, you know, just like, actually even TV shows, Supernatural. Things going on for like 13 seasons. Some people like myself are like, you know, it was really good at season 6 and maybe like 7.
Right.
There were some issues here and there earlier seasons, but like it was really good there. And that was like 5 years, and they've been doing this for like 13, 14 years now, and it's still they're still gonna have more. So it might be going. I think it's like greenlit for 15.
Right.
15 years working on that show. It's just like, oh my god, please.
Yeah, like even it's funny because something like Friends had 10 seasons,
and even around 9 or 10, you could tell.
Yeah,
it's been going on,
and like they finally did like wrap things up.
Yeah,
because like that's the thing. Yeah, I think it is kind of an American problem where it just feels like they want to make money off of something so desperately that they will keep it going long after it's like
people actually care.
Right, we should probably wrap this up while people still enjoy it, and then work on something else, like do something new.
Even a spin-off is still like is still different.
I
mean,
for me,
no,
it's
Joey wasn't
like
a good show.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
it's like a 50-50 shot with spin-offs for me.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like that's better than keeping the same thing going.
Right.
For like 15 years. Like, and again, some people will be like, but you know, Godzilla, of course. We're not saying that Japan doesn't have anything like that. There's this one show that they do, I can't remember the name of it. Some of you guys definitely probably know about it, so you can sound off about it in the comments. It's a show that follows a teacher. It's not GTO or anything. It follows a teacher. It started in the 70s. And they bring the show back every maybe like 10 years or so.
Right. Yeah.
And they do maybe like 3 to 6 episodes per season.
Right.
But here's the cool thing. They bring back the same teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's the same character, the same teacher. It follows him and his students, and then they grow up, and then they'll do the show 10 years later with him teaching a new class, and some of his students could be teachers there now in the school.
Right.
Or he could still talk to them in some way about dealing with these new kids.
Right. Yeah.
That's a beautiful concept.
Yeah.
In no way am I saying that you can't do reunion specials. I think those are cool. I love Super. Right?
Yeah.
But Dragon Ball Z, even though it was long, it had its time and it ended.
Right.
Right? Now, to some people in the US, it might seem like it never ended, but in Japan, it had a 5-year run.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Dragon Ball was from, what, 85 to 90?
Yeah,
no.
Something like that.
No. Well, 85 to...
84 to...
No, 80... Well, the
85.
manga. Yeah, 85. No, because the reason I'm bringing it up is because, like, Dragon Ball Z ended in
97?
Well, GT ended in 96 to 97.
Oh, okay.
Because that one did not last long.
Right.
I wonder why. But still, the point, though, is that even though it seems like they lasted a while, they still had their runs, and then they were done for like 20 years. I'm fine with that. So I'm not saying that Shinkai could never create something related to Your Name.
Right.
But it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It did what it needed to do. Now, I will say this, though. If they gave him money to do, like, a director's cut, and he made more scenes that... Because it's obviously much different, not much, but relatively different than it is with a director's cut with a Hollywood film. Where in a Hollywood film, they film so much that if they put every single thing that they filmed in every single movie, a 2.5-hour movie would easily clear 5 hours every time.
Right. Well, that's like with Lord of the Rings director's cut. It goes from...
Yeah.
to 4 hours, 5 hours. Yeah.
And I bet you, even though that's the director's cut, they filmed even more that could be in the movie to make that movie probably even longer.
A day. Yeah.
Yeah, right, a day. No, but they even... I'm not talking about, like, putting in all the other takes. I mean, look at any movie. And I mean any movie. And there's reshoots just because maybe they wanted a different take, but also in other cases, they film entirely new scenes to, plot out the movie a certain way. Maybe they got a test audience to be like, not interested. But that's much different than an anime movie or anime in general, where of course they have the scripts, but they don't have most likely the animated stills and or the cells, because they probably never got to that process, potentially.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they cut out all the shit in the brainstorming process because it takes money to animate. It takes money to film, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's a bit different getting human actors versus ruining your arms, ruining your hands, trying to draw this shit out. So I do think that if they wanted to ever have him do a director's cut, throw the money into that versus Your Name 2, the naming. Like, I don't need...
Your last name.
Your last name. Wait, is that that's a Death Note crossover, I think. That's just Your Last Name. It's Light trying to find out what their last
Please, tell me what your name is. He just tries to go out with criminals to learn what their name is, and when he finally learns their name on the date, he just writes the name in the notebook, and it's like, I'm Kira.
Yeah, if Death Note didn't want to be so on the nose, they could have called it Kimi no Na wa, I think.
Oh my god.
Your Name. But you...
No, I was going to say, like, there is something to be treasured in something that comes out. It tells a story. It's a self-contained story. Tells that story in a set period of time, wraps it up, and it's done. There's something beautiful about that. Not that I don't like long-running series, but it's also, you have to have a little of both sometimes.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a movie that's just one movie and it's done.
The problem is with some people, and I'm not going to try to be the old man on a cloud calling out the youths, but, old man yells at cloud, rather. But I do think that for some people, if this was their first anime movie, and again, they're from the U.S., we're looking at this from a U.S. perspective, everything gets a sequel.
Right.
If, heck, things that critics don't like. The new Venom movie, we talked about this on Kick Out Corner. The new Venom movie, critics are like, nah, fam. I don't know if they wrote that in the Boston Globe. Nah, fam. But critics are not interested. But movie, like, box office wise, it made so much money that it looks like they're going to be getting a sequel. Why? Because that money talks.
Right.
Critics can hate it. People trained better than us to actually review movies and shit like that while we're doing it. While we're doing it right now. No, but wait, are we arguably doing it? Is that what you're saying? We're arguably reviewing this film right now.
No, I said they're arguably better at...
Well, I mean, at the very least, they're
paid for it.
Not only that they're paid. No, I mean, like, they went to school for that shit. That's what I mean.
I know, you're right.
That's what I'm getting at. They went to school...
Joking.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, we're assholes. But, like, still, the point, though, is that they could say a movie is shit. Overall, like, I'm pretty sure most critics agree that Venom is the most why movie of the year. No, but people are like, why? And if enough people saw it in theaters, it's like, well, who the fuck cares what critics and maybe even what fans say about it? Because I've had some harsh things to say about not even the movie, because I still want to see it, but the concept of the movie, I've had some harsh things to say about that. But guess what? It came out. And people paid money to go see it.
Right.
And I'm considering even seeing it, depending on how much it costs to go see it. We've talked about this before.
People have the power.
Yeah, right? So, and which is good. It's democratizing, but in a way it's like, but if the movie was shitty, though, and they just spent money on it, but they don't want another one.
Right.
That's another thing, too, that we also have to acknowledge. But still, with this movie, yeah, I think maybe some people, it's maybe their first anime movie, and they're a little bit younger. I mean, if we saw this in high school, we might have wanted a sequel,
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want to see more of these two in love, But now that we're a little bit older, we're like, no, it's okay, right? Sometimes these moments are fleeting, and that's okay. You hold on to them while they're there, and then they go.
I mean, it's also kind of fun, like, if there are, obviously there's definitely a community around this movie, but, like, even just to see, like, people do fan art. Or, like,
that's beautiful.
And stuff too. Like, that's what keeps, like, stuff like this alive, too.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, the movie is over, but like there's still people who talk about it and love it, and like hell, that's how Dragon Ball has stayed around for so long and has come back.
Dragon Ball AF, which used to be April Fools, but it was after Future, then April Fools, and now apparently it's Dragon Ball as fuck. I love how languages change over time, don't they? How great is that, right? When we were kids, it was like, oh my god, it's after Future. And then we realized that meant April Fools. And we were like, oh. And then, but now we learned it's Dragon Ball as fuck, and we're smiling again, just like it was after Future. But still, though, I will say, even if Shinkai wasn't in charge of a sequel, if it was a sequel that only was, it was the name, concept, and completely different people. Like, we stayed the fuck away from Taki and Mitsuha. I'd kind of be okay with it. I'm not saying I wouldn't, actually, to be fair. I just want
grandma's adventures in
right.
space and time.
She actually goes into space. Who's directing this? The same person that did Space Dandy and Bebop. Could you imagine her in space just being like, am I more of a boobs man or an ass man? Mitsuha's grandma.
Booty.
Booty. I have to...
In space.
Booty in space. I wanted to say, though, no, I will admit it. Maybe it is the person in me who, is okay with sequels. I just think that it's such a good concept that I have no problem with it being reused.
Are you sure it's still you in there?
Yeah, right? Maybe it's not. But I don't want...
Did we switch?
Yeah, right? But I don't want their story to be continued. Right. I want their story to end here. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
But don't you want to see them get married and have kids and get their job and live their life?
No. I'm fine with it.
No.
But you know what? I think that's also why nowadays we see a lot of... Not even nowadays. It happened with Dragon Ball and it happened with Ultimate Muscle. But the idea of... Or Kinnikuman. But it has the idea of... Let's see what their kids are up to. But I don't want to see what their kids are up to, actually. Like, I want to see different people not have their lineage. It's like a Star Wars thing. You want to get away from the Skywalkers. You love the Skywalkers, but you're like, I've seen enough... Well, Star Wars has been a lot more Skywalker stuff than these two. Yeah. But still, you're like, I've seen their story, I'm good. Let's cherry pick out of it and maybe similar powers, similar weird shit, but somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, if it was like a 5-minute short of just like the kids coming home and you see Taki and Mitsuha.
Like the FMA one that they did. Yeah. You've seen that one,
something
right?
like that.
That one was so sad. That one
I'd be fine with
Grandpa Edward. I was like,
But, like, yeah, because I love little cutesy stuff like that.
Yeah, no. To be fair, that would be fun and cute. Don't get me wrong. But I don't need to see another...
whole second movie, yeah.
I don't need to see that. No, I'm good.
I want to see Shinkai move on to his next project.
And whatever it is, that's the other thing, too, I remember him mentioning in an interview. That's not on Wiki, but I remember him saying that he is a little bit nervous because he doesn't want to be in the shadow of your name.
Right.
And frankly, dude... 100%. Yeah. I give him that, man.
Right.
Like, could you imagine? Okay, and I'm gonna reveal Tristan's worst nightmare right here on the podcast. I've known you for 10 years, and you've never said this out loud, but I know you well enough that this is your worst nightmare.
Nani the fuck?
Yeah, we get famous, and people expect more content about. Those guys play Disney's dinosaur, and that's all they care about, and that's all you're known for.
No, but it's okay, because it's never going to happen.
Yeah, right? I pray to God. No, we're fun in that series. Kami-sama. No, we're fun in that series. We have a lot of fun. We have a good time. But it would be frustrating if people are like, could you only play different ports of Disney's Dinosaur? Granted, other ports might be better. They might be better. Yeah, Tristan's face. Have you guys seen Indiana Jones? Like, the first one with... Or maybe the end of Roger Rabbit.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Who framed Roger?
So yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying, Tristan. I feel like, and by the way,
that's what my face looks like.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that your name is like Disney's dinosaur.
Yeah.
Although there's a lot of there's a lot of similarity. There was a comet. There was.
Please don't do this. Please don't do this.
Both, if Funimation wasn't as big as it was now, both would have been brought over by Disney. Disney's Dinosaur and Your Name.
I'm about to smack you.
You're about to hear a thwack on. You're gonna hear it. Just. Oh God! Why? It was such an audible slap. Why was it so audible? It hurts, but what hurt more is I heard it. Anyway, no, but we're gonna wrap up soon. I think we're gonna wrap up soon. No, but you see what I mean, though. Not trying to actually compare the two, but it's just something that even if it's a work that you love, even if it's like people love us for playing Dragon Ball Z games or something, we don't just play Dragon Ball Z games. We play a bunch of different stuff. We review a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah,
it's and I only compare it to the YouTube grind, not just because we're YouTubers that have that that do that every day and stuff, but it's also the fact that other YouTubers who love what they do, sometimes people see the one thing like, oh, we love when you only do that way, in that exact way. Yeah. Don't ever change. And it's like, oh, haha, thank you. It's like, no, we didn't mean don't ever change. Right. Haha. We meant don't ever change.
If you do anything else, unsubscribe.
Exactly. Yeah. And we will hate you. It's like, oh, you could just unsubscribe.
Okay, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I mean, yeah, that's what. But then if you say that, then they feel entitled to leave anyway. Mm-hmm. So
and make other people leave too.
Exactly. Like, he was so rude to me. I just threatened him and his family, and he was so rude. But they don't mention that part. So then it's like, yeah, that is a rude thing for him to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, all jokes aside, though.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with him 100%. As a creator myself, Matt, you create dumb YouTube videos. Still a creator. But as a creator myself, I fully understand the worry of having this overshadow his other future work.
Right.
Like, if he wants to create, like, a sci-fi thing in space, all jokes aside, we made the, Space Dandy jokes. But if he wants to make something in space, makes it a bit more serious. Yes, drama elements like he's made some of his other films. Right. But he makes it in space. People, like, he has to think like, oh god, I can't like have the characters switch bodies because everyone will say it's just
your name. Yeah, right.
Your name in space, Yeah. So, I mean, heck, even doing the time travel thing, because we've seen his previous work, we can be like, oh, it's just like Mecha. I can't keep on forgetting the name of the movie, the short, the 5-minute short.
Yes.
Was it? No, it was 25 minutes.
Which Voices of a Different
Yeah. That was like 25 minutes.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Sorry, because there's another one that he does that's in 3 parts, and they're each like a few minutes.
What is it called? Is that the children who chase
something 5 centimeter
per second?
Yeah, 5 centimeters per second.
Yeah, that was released by Right Stuff a while ago. Not sure who has the license now, but I think it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it's like. Well, but he does, like, a lot of his films are, like, different ages and different, like, moving through time, and a lot of it is, like, like, looking back on a past, like, love, or, dealing with a relationship or a possible one.
That's separated by distance.
Right. Distance, time, age, all those different,
Yeah. So I definitely think, as we're wrapping this up, the movie definitely lived up to its hype.
Yeah.
I still think there are issues. There really are. There is no perfect movie, right?
Yeah.
But I would definitely, if we are rating this, which we don't usually rate them at the end, unless we're talking about specifically someone's filmography, like 12 Nights of Shyamalan. I would say that out of 5, I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, 4.5 to a 5.
Yeah, no. Well, because for me, 5 is perfection. That's the thing.
Okay,
this movie wasn't perfect. That's what I'm saying. Like.
So it's okay. So
well, no, there are some.
I'm giving it like a 98%. Then
that's the thing. No, then I'll give you that. No, then I'll give you that 100%. Actually, then I'll give you 98, 100. I feel like we just no. Have you seen Anchorman? It works 66% of the time, every time.
Every time.
You're like, I'll give it a 98%. I would 100% agree with you, Tristan, on that 98%. No, no, yeah, I think that the calendar is like the biggest issue I have with the movie, really.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it was a little bit too fast paced at certain points, but I still think it wasn't hard to necessarily keep up with.
Yeah.
But I also have to agree, if someone had never seen a Japanese movie before in their life, they might be lost. And some might say, "Oh, but it's anime. It's not. But it should be made for everyone."
Right. Yeah.
And
it is like.
I think it is. But I do think I'm not saying. Okay, when I say it's not anime should be made for everyone, it usually is. Yes, but I do think that some stuff in this, like the red thread of fate, we only know about that because we've seen Bleach.
Or other, we've seen that idea presented before.
Oh, what else has been presented that maybe you've seen that I haven't?
I can't think of stuff off the top of my head, but I know of that concept. Like, I've seen it in other places.
Okay, that's fair. So that's because we know about the concept. If someone didn't, they'd be like, what is the thread? Yeah. Like, they understand what it symbolizes, but they might not understand the Japanese context to it.
Yeah.
So overall, though, I enjoyed the movie. I think that you definitely should go see it if you haven't yet, although you've heard our review of it, so you should probably go see it. And I think that another reason why it definitely must have been popular is because of how it not only dealt with these characters dealing with each other, but how it really feels like a snapshot in time to being a high schooler.
Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to say like a Japanese high schooler, because of course that gets played out in different Japanese anime more than it actually really, like that how it actually happens in real life. In fact, I'm surprised that Taki had a job, because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to, usually schools are against you having a job. Remember that episode of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah. Right.
Or
even Yu Yu Hakusho did that too.
Right, yes, of course. You're not really supposed to have a job and school at the same time.
I think
they can allow it, like they have to like sign off on it.
Seniors too. I think so.
Yeah, maybe, but you also have to sign off on it, I think.
Right. Well, because I know they were saying they were getting ready for their entrance exams too.
Oh, so they were probably close.
Yeah, so they were like graduating that year.
Right. So yeah, so like I'm not saying that that's exactly the high school experience, but I mean that not only the unrequited love aspect, but also the unrequited love aspect of Taki working with that older woman who, you know, she's clearly much older than him. She's smoking, and she definitely, like, I don't know, like, I think there are many people out there. I think this even transcends, like, you know, gender. I'm not even just like, it's not just like a male thing, but like I'm speaking as a male. You're a male.
Yeah.
That whole, oh, you like this person, or you like this woman who's a little bit older than you. You know, and it's like, oh, they're a little bit older.
Yeah.
And they're definitely not interested in you in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, you work with them, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There were just certain aspects of the movie that I think were something that just, like I said earlier, not only transcends a culture, but it's just something that you can relate to and think back to high school.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe you are in high school and you feel like you're Taki, or you feel like Mitsuha.
Right.
One thing I think...
Mitsuha wanting to, like, get out of her small town and, like, move to a bigger city. Like, it's a lot of elements that, you know, younger people could identify with. Or,
of all... Like, you know, like...
Or even people looking back on that time in their lives.
Yeah, like, no, because the U.S. isn't only New York, L.A.
Oh, yeah.
To some people, they think it is only big cities, but there are a bunch of... Heck, even in New York, like, where, you know, I can say this because I used to live here too. You live in Long Island, Tristan. When you come to see me in Queens or in Manhattan, it feels like you've left a small life to go to the big city. And we're both in New York.
Right.
But people will think, you know, New York, it's only this and it's only this city.
Or even, like, when I go camping in the Catskills too. Like, in smaller towns.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just crazy to think about, you know, how even, you know, it's that concept of leaving the small city to go to the big town. Of course, it's just something that's universal, or can be considered universal in some way or another. So I think it hit a lot of points that a bunch of people can relate to, no matter what age you are. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And another thing, like, with the body switching and stuff, like I said, I was a little, like, reserved or, like, worried at first. Like, how are they going to play this off?
Yes.
But I like in the direction that they went with it, because they both got a perspective on each other's lives and how to, like, be a different side of who that person was. Because, like, Taki is a little more confident being Mitsu.
But also brash.
Right. Like, so when it looks like on the outside that, like, she's a little bit more encouraged, or, you know, to be courageous enough to be a bit different than everyone in her classroom in her small town. So she's standing out a bit more. She's, you know, not taking shit from people. And on the other side, Mitsuha being a little bit more in tune with
nature,
nature,
her cultural roots,
and expressing herself, expressing her feelings, being Taki, you know, like talking with
I know his manager,
but with the manager or the older coworker, and just other people in general, and, like, thoroughly enjoying his life in the city, which he is basically, this is just Tokyo, I deal with this every day, nothing special. Yet she's like,
why do you work so much? You spend my money.
That was probably my favorite, like, one of my favorite parts is them when they've switched back into their own bodies, and it's just idiot and fool written on their face, like, stop screwing up my life. Stop breaking my habits. But, like, that's also another point of the movie. It's like, sometimes it's good to break out of your habit of everyday life, because you get a different perspective, or you learn something new.
Yeah, the one thing that I wanted them to either delve into more, or maybe shut down because I don't want it. I wanted it to be more definitive. Is the fact that did Mitsuha like his older coworker? Did she like her?
Yeah.
Or was she doing it just for Taki's sake?
Taki's sake.
If she was, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it seemed like she was getting in on that. Like she was like,
I wanted to be on that date. Damn it.
That's what it sounded like, and I was like, wait, that's awesome. Like it's a good thing. Like we should focus on that more. And then it feels like that's kind of erased by her falling for Taki.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's like.
Is it coming from the idea that she wanted to be on the date with the older coworker? Because I think it was kind of half and half.
That's what I'm wondering.
But I think like she had a friend too.
Yes.
Like.
Oh no. Yes. I mean that's the thing though. Right? I don't like, and I don't think they meant to do this in this case, but certain movies do this. They do something called. I'm pretty sure this is the right word. If it's not, please tell me down below because I don't want to be wrong about this. I just know the concept, but I want to make sure the word's right. Queer baiting. The idea is we're gonna put in a character with certain characteristics or do something that people who are LGBTQ plus, or in my case, I have friends who are. We and you do too. We can be like, oh, that thing. Is that something that shows that they are part of that community? Or the reverse, where someone who isn't aware of that at all could be like, oh, okay, whatevs. Right? And that like has happened. People have talked about that in the LGBTQ plus community with Star Wars Episode 8 because of, I forgot her name, the general with purple hair.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Where that
General
could be,
Holdo.
yes, that could be considered queer coding. Where, it's queer coding actually, not baiting. There we go, queer coding. Where it's like, she has that hair. Does that mean? And then she talks about certain adventures in the past with some people who are, who are female, and it's like, oh, but then never talks about it directly, or we don't see her having a wife or a girlfriend or something. Much different than in that episode of Doctor Who, Arachnids in the UK, where they directly had that the dumbass, who we're talking about. I don't want to spoil for people. The dumbass go. Who are you again? And then she said, I'm your niece's wife, sir. That's all it was. Not I'm your niece's friend, wink. Like, no bullshit. I'm your niece's wife, sir. Oh, okay. And he treated her like shit, but not because it was niece. He treated everyone like shit. That's equality for him.
Are you working for me? Are you doing a job? Why are you not doing it right now?
It didn't matter. He treated everybody like that. So what I'm getting at, though, is that I was hoping they'd go a little bit more in that direction, but it kind of feels like they kind of just erased it. And again, maybe that's something Shinkai would have addressed had he had more time and budget. That's the interesting thing too, because Shinkai, from what I've noticed, only from that one that you and I did, Mecha Girl Pilots Mecha in Space with Love. That's the whole name. That's it. That would be the Japanese like Dragon Ball Z name of the movie. Mecha Garu. No, but like seriously, when with that movie, I'm pretty sure he worked on that himself, I thought. Maybe with a few friends, but like they took years to do that 25-minute OVA. I thought. Maybe I was wrong. But I thought that they worked on that very, very, very small budget together really hard. A lot of crunch time on that, obviously. Versus this, which I'm not saying this didn't have crunch time, but this was funded by Toho, so there's definitely more money. But what I'm saying is that
full staff to work.
Of course. But with that Toho money, then comes the idea that, shit, we don't have any more Toho money, so we can't keep going. So if we have to stop, we have to stop. So I do wonder what may have changed here and there, what may have been added, switched up, something like that. I will say, though, that I felt a little weird about Taki's adult design. Like, something about his neck was maybe did you notice that? No?
I didn't really notice
He became more athletic overnight somehow. Like, he became bulkier. Sort of, but not really.
Maybe. I think
also, I love they made fun of the suit.
Just the suit.
They made fun of the maybe it just was the suit.
Did you stick padding under there? What the hell, man?
Oh man. Anyway, so I think we're gonna wrap this up. You good?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all so much for listening in. As always, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, those guys on the radio, thank you all so much. You can like and subscribe if you like the video, and you know what they can do if they didn't like the video. They can like and subscribe. Anyway. Yeah, either way, you still can. You can hate watch us. That's totally fine. Also, please comment down below with your thoughts on the movie. If you liked it, if you disliked it, if you think it didn't live up to the hype, if you think we were downplaying the hype in some way or another, if you want to give it a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 5, tell us down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You could also listen to this, though, over at our Blog Talk Radio account, blogtalkradio.com/those-guys-on-the-radio. And last I checked, I think you still can. You can go on iTunes, search up Those Guys, and download this there as well, and listen to us on the go. That's right. Tristan's doing a thumbs, but like a one thumb up, like the Japanese, like just happy does it. So that's that. Was that grammatically correct?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. This is the first time he's actually here. Normally, when I do this, he just mutes everything and just goes make a sandwich or something.
No, how did you know?
But so yeah. So again, thank you all so much. Love you all. You can follow us through our different social media accounts: Facebook, Facebook.com/Those Guys on the Radio. Also, our Twitter @Those Guys Radio, @us with everything. And everything. And yeah, you can tweet us there. Find all of our different posts, because we don't just do our podcast, we also do Let's Plays and other gaming content over at Those Guys Play, and some other fun, weird, esoteric stuff. Some Your Name stuff is coming up, actually, on our Teacher Productions channel, which is Teacher Productions. You can also go to our main website, teacherproduction.net/merchandise, if you want to buy some fun merchandise from us there. Or we also have our TeePublic account listed down below. We have some fun t-shirts there as well. And depending on what, how you want to get them. And we can also, if you want to take away that merchandise, teacherproduction.net, that's where all of our stuff is posted. So you can follow us on the social medias, or you can just follow us via our main website. Thank you all so much. Love you all. Take care. And tune in next time for another episode of Anna Saturday. Should have mentioned, this is Anna Saturday, by the way, because it's a movie, but it's also an anime. Animation.
You went off and made a sandwich while in my body during the outro. Gome.
Was it a good sandwich? Irrelevant. Tristan, why did you touch my chest?
Oh my god.
See you, everybody.